Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. I know the posts have been a little slow lately. Expect some more posts in the future. I've got a shit ton of recordings, and I am doing some editing, but I just want to let you guys know that usually I do the editing for all my videos, but this video in particular, my girlfriend wanted to edit, so I went ahead and let her do it. So if it's a different style or even a little higher quality, then it's probably her. She's got her hands on a much higher quality video editor than I do. This video is going to be about my dream loadouts for each individual character. Now, this won't cover all the slots of each character, but pretty much my primary cosmetic loadout that I want to have for each of them. There are going to be some things that have cosmetics about them that I like, but they might have some utility in there. That's not a guarantee that I will use them, but you know, it's there. So just a short disclaimer, the vibe that I'm going with for most of my characters is more of like a post-apocalyptic Mad Maxy feel. Funny enough, I made all these loadouts and stuff on Loadout.tf, link in the description below for their website. All right, so what better to start than with Skunty Boy himself? Really cool is one of the things that I like to do is I usually like to take really bad cosmetics and make them look good. That's kind of always been like my theme. In this scenario, I think I actually did a really good job on it, because if you could tell, these are the Pyro vision goggles. This is one of the worst cosmetics in the game, but I used the fuel injector and the flapjacks to kind of give like this druggy, fast boy, almost like a psycho from Borderlands kind of vibe to him. And man, it works. It looks great. I think it looks amazing. He's got some other goggles, but those other goggles don't really match up and pair well as these do. And obviously I've got the canteen here that's, you know, complements the rest of it. You know, they are living in a deserty Badlands kind of thing. I find that the vibe of Team Fortress 2, you know, with all the scrap also kind of matches this kind of post-apocalyptic idea. So I found that for some characters, for most characters, this was really easy to accomplish, and for others it was actually really hard. But we'll get to them in just a second. But yeah, no, I think this definitely works out. Now, there are 3 versions of the fuel injector, but I decided to go with the 1 canister and the 1 tube, because again, I think it, you know, sometimes less is more, and to have both of these kind of really complements the rest of Scout's face. And another thing that you'll see around here is that the Mercs' faces are covered. And that's just kind of something that's like up for my personal preference that I really wanted to do, because when I was making these characters, you know, I don't want to make them the exactly scout or exactly heavy. You know, I kind of want them to be their own unique characters. And you'll see that in a few, some of them actually have names. I don't have a name for this guy, but I'll probably think of something in the future. So this is my sniper loadout. Really cool thing. I kind of wanted to go for like a trader, like a hunter slash survivor wandering trader vibe, right? That's like mask. He's got a cowl on. He's covering up a lot of his body to protect his skin from the sun. He's got a backpack with all of this stuff. He's got a jar of piss because he's a survivor, and you know, he's surviving out in the wildlands. He's got his bizarre bargain, which is like a more of a huntsman rifle. He's got his canteen. I think this really works well. I didn't want to go full edgy. As you guys know, my personal preference when it comes to edginess is like salt. All right, a little bit of edginess complements the rest of the dish, right? But too much of it will ruin it. You got to be really careful with the level of salt, the spice that you want to incorporate in your character. And I think you know, with how edgy of a character Sniper usually is, or is portrayed as, I think I really struck a good middle ground here with this kind of like trader vibe. I really like this. This is probably one of my favorites, honestly. Makes him a lot more mysterious. That's pretty much all I got to say about this one. So moving on. So with Soldier, I actually ran into a lot of issues with Soldier. Soldier was by far one of the more difficult ones, because he doesn't have a lot of cosmetics that cover his face. And the ones that he does, like War Pig, for instance, I felt like was a little cheap because it's just 1 cosmetic, and so many people already use that cosmetic. And plus, it's a little edgy. It's a little too edgy for my taste, so I kind of was like, all right, so let's just do this. Obviously, I did pair this with the Bizarre Bargain, because you know, it's literally made of trash. It's made of junk. So I was like, yeah, that kind of seems appropriate for Soldier, especially in a post-apocalyptic setting. But for this, I was kind of going for more like a pilot vibe, right? So he was like in the Air Force when the post-apocalyptic, you know, event happened, and you know, he kind of crashed, and he's got a parachute on, and you know, he's just a pilot trying to make his way through the desert and all that stuff. He's got his boots, the man treads, and all that stuff. I think this really works well for Soldier. especially given with what limited stuff I had for Soldier. But I'm very proud of this. I like this a lot. My grandpa was in the Air Force as well. My dad was in the Navy. And so, like, this kind of military vibe, you know, is a little close to my heart. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I got to say about Soldier. You know, not too edgy. You know, he's got this, the gourd mask, because, you know, how pilots do, like, jets and stuff. They'll have, like, this smile and stuff, and, like, the shark and stuff. That's what the gourd grin kind of gave me the vibe of, and it paired really well with the helmet. Yeah, but anyway, with that being said, let's move on to the next one. Alright, so for my Demoman, Demoman was a little hard, but I knew as soon as I found the blast defense or whatever the hell this helmet is called, I had to use it. I had to use it. It looked great. So I was like, you know what? Why not have just like this crazy rioter, like bomber guy, right? That explodes everything, and he's like a juggernaut. And that's kind of the vibe I went with here. It's got the scrap on, it's got, you know, piece of metal and stuff, and you know you'd find this guy kind of like battling in like a post-apocalyptic you know, area, and he's kind of like a tank and stuff, blowing shit up and stuff and not getting hurt by it. And yeah, I think this really works well. I was gonna originally use the cosmetic that had his arms and stuff bulging out, but I was like, no, it's a little too much for my taste. And plus, you know, having this bulky armor and stuff really does complement the Juggernaut feel that I wanted anyway. And you'll see in my heavy loadout, you know, what exactly I was going for when it came to somebody who's going to be more of a Juggernaut tank kind of thing. That's kind of all I have to say. Yeah, for some reason, I don't know why Demoman's hand kind of clips through the Iron Bomber. It clips through the regular grenade launcher as well, which I think is kind of bizarre, but yeah, I guess it is what it is. So for my medic, he doesn't have the medigun right now because the medigun's fucking broken. Every time I equip it, it's all over the place. For the medic, he was fairly simple. I kind of wanted to go for like a fucking insane asylum kind of doctor, right? Like he's been in the insane asylum for a while, and he finally came out, and he's got all these straps on and stuff of his detainment, and he's bald and stuff because he was shaved, his head was shaved and stuff, but his face is completely covered up because he's this crazy mad scientist piece of shit, and probably does human experiments and stuff like that. So kind of like our medic, but it's like our medic if he was actually captured and detained in an insane asylum for like 30 years and went even more crazy. So yeah, now he's finally free, and he's out and about causing chaos. And yeah, that's kind of medic was fairly simple. He was a fairly simple one, but I really like how this one turned out. Again, giving kind of like the psycho vibe from Borderlands with the goggles and the gas mask and stuff. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I got to say about this one. Again, clipping and stuff. I hate clipping. I hate it so much. It's so irritating. And obviously, you got the canteen because, you know, I saw the canteen and I was like, oh, I could do something with this. All right, here we go. Okay, so here is Hevs. Again, clipping. God damn it. Valve, please. Again, Valve. All right, anyway, moving on. My heavy right now is exactly what I wanted him to be. You know, the steel jaw of Summer Fun, the Mad Mask, you know, the heavy lifter. Obviously, the heavy lifter is a more popular kind of thing. But I was thinking more like a big, tough bodyguard for like a mafia leader or something like that. But yeah, obviously a lot of people say that the big steel jaw of Summer Fun is a pretty ugly cosmetic, and I'm actually inclined to agree. But paired with the Mad Mask, it really gives like this batshit crazy big guy, Frankenstein kind of vibe. Really tough, really edgy. But, you know, funny twist is that he's like, you know, kind of a nice guy. Like, he's the kind of guy to go out and fucking take care of your recycling for you. Like, he's the kind of guy to bring out your barrels, your trash barrels on a Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? If you forgot to do it, he just does it for you. Doesn't even say that he did it. He's just kind of a nice dude. But, you know, he looks fucking terrifying. He's got a giant minigun. His arms are bigger than his legs. And, you know, you can't even see his face. But, you know, his face is batshit ugly underneath that mask. But yeah, I mean, obviously canteen, you know, the little cherry on top. And yeah, I really like this. So my heavy's pretty much complete. You know, I'm honestly surprised just how well the Mad Mask pairs with the big steel jaws of Summer Fun. Like, it looks great. Like, there's a little bit of clipping, but you can, like, given all the cracks and stuff, you could just excuse it for the cracks. And, like, the Mad Mask is just peering through the cracks and things like that. I like this bolted feel and like the screws and stuff on the Mad Mask pairs really well. This bolt right here is literally from the Big Steel Jaw of Summer Fun, but it literally attaches right in the center. Thank you, Heavy, for turning. Literally in the center, right here. It looks so good. It looks so good. It pairs so well. And honestly, I'm surprised that more heavies don't do this. And I think the reason why is because both of these cosmetics don't have an unusual, which I'll get into why I don't use unusuals in a little while. But yeah, that's my heavy for you. All right, now moving on to my Pyro. So my Pyro was kind of like, Pyro I kind of wanted to use to complement heavy. And the reason why is because my girlfriend's a Pyro main, and I'm a heavy main, and, you know, we kind of stick around all the time. But with the Pyro is relatively simple. I kind of wanted to go with, like, more of a scrapyard. This is kind of guy like collects trash and, like, uses the trash to kind of, like, help his own survival. You know, another man's trash is another man's treasure kind of mentality. And I think I did a really good job. So he's less of a, he's more of a scavenger than a traveler. I know the backpack's a little deceiving, but he's more of a camper, right? He's more of a, I'm going to stick to the trash heap because that's where all the good shit is, because I can't go anywhere else, and I'm not going to. But again, this kind of, like, looks like the kind of guy to be paired with heavy on, like, some, like, I don't know, fucking scrap cult. I don't know. I like the scar here of the mask and stuff. That looks really good. Complements the rest of it very well. And yeah, you know, this dirty, gritty vibe with the boots and stuff that Pyro usually has. The soot and stuff looks really great. I really don't have anything else I want to say about this. This looks great. This looks awesome. Very happy with it. So remember when I was talking about the mob boss earlier? I'm going to let you guys know real quick. Spy was by far the hardest fucking character to do. It was so hard. Because, you know, regularly Spy has had this, like, sleek and nice stuff, right? And so it's, you know, putting him in a post-apocalyptic setting where he has to have, like, trashy shit is really, really hard to do. So I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I found this, and I thought that this really worked well for, like, the post-apocalyptic scrapper vibe that I was going for, like the Mad Max kind of deal. And I thought that this looked really, really good for it. So I decided to do it, right? So ultimately, I ended up deciding, you know, in every single one of these post-apocalyptic, you know, movies and stories and stuff, you always have that one super rich mafia leader kind of guy, you know, that either the protagonist is against or consults with, you know, the kind of like the pimpy leader, like mafia leader or gang leader, crime boss, if you will. And that's kind of what I went with my Spy. I'm not completely happy with it, but with what I had and what I was given, you know, I really do like it. The canteen, I honestly don't think works as well here, but I still put it on because, you know, everyone's got to have water, right? And the knife, obviously, I used the knife with a bandage on it because that looked the junkiest of all of them. And yeah, I kind of went with the robe here, going, you know, complementing the more pimpy, but not over the top. And the hat, obviously, complements that idea as well. I don't like how the hat's coloration and shade of red is different from all the rest. As you can see, this coloration kind of fits with this one. This coloration fits with this one as well. You know, it kind of just works, but the hat is a little weird. Plus, there's clipping in there. I kind of just hide that from this side. But I don't know. It's kind of just the vibe I got from Spy here. It's more of like a crime leader, crime boss kind of deal, and I think most of you guys could probably agree with me on that. But yeah, anyway, moving on to the last one. Engineer, baby. All right, so I'm gonna admit I kind of went a little overboard here. So I found this, the gunslinger, and this, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I want to pair all of these together. Paired with the Frontier Justice that I was originally going to use the Widowmaker for because of its functionality. But the Frontier Justice looks so good with this anyway. And, you know, the Gunslinger it has the Mini Sentry, and the Mini Sentry and the Frontier Justice just pairs together functionally so nicely as well. I believe I said in my workshop video beforehand that if I had the trench coat and the Robo Engie, I would have ran those two instead of the cute suit and this. And then I would have used the Robo Boot and the Gunslinger and the Frontier Justice, and that would have been like my perfect loadout. But because we don't have those, I kind of have to stick with this. I honestly hope that those two cosmetics get in because I really do want to use it for my NG loadout, and it works so well. But yeah, no, I think this works really well. Obviously, the canteen as per protocol. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. As an artist and who does character design and writing and a lot of story making, I wanted to make you know, characters with you know, their own personalities and stuff, you know, out of the mercs that we already had, and to make my own mercenaries, right? It's like really cool. And so to have them kind of like come from this Badlands, you know, post-apocalyptic, you know, Mad Max world into Team Fortress 2 is really fun. And I had a lot of fun on Loadout.tf. Again, link in the description. I had a ton of fun, and I cannot wait to do this again, because when I have a new idea for like my other slots and stuff, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with it. I kind of want to like think of names real quick. My heavy's name is Leadhead. My heavy's name has always been Leadhead, and I think, you know, I mean, look at the guy. He's a Leadhead, right? It just rolls off the tongue really, really well. But for the other characters, I kind of don't know what I'm gonna have their names as. I don't even know what Scout is. Now I've finished my Scout loadout. I don't know. That's pretty much it. I really like the way I did all of these characters. I think the ones that are the strongest, in my opinion, is probably the Scout, my Heavy, and my Sniper. And I think the one that comes in around last in regards to my strongest one is probably the Pyro. My Medic is really good too. Like, I think they're all really, really strong individually, but I think some of my weakest ones is probably my Demoman, my Soldier, and most definitely my Spy, and maybe my Engineer. My Engineer isn't too bad, but I think the weakest one out of all of them is probably my Spy. Like, my Spy, I could not figure out what to use to really give it, like, that post-apocalyptic vibe. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, with that being said, we're probably going to put my Heavy up here just to, you know, do the outro and stuff. He's shaking his head at me in disappointment. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Go support my girlfriend. The link to her channel is always going to be in the description. She's the one that edited up this video, so I don't know when this video is being released. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys got any suggestions, then let me know. Also, real quick on why I don't use unusuals. I personally don't see the use in unusuals. I know that for heavies, like if you have an unusual, medics are more prone to heal you. But usually I'm the only heavy on the team because people don't like playing heavy a lot, which is weird to me, at least from where I come from. I kind of just like, I was like, no, I don't like unusuals. Plus, there's not really a lot that complements my kind of thing, except for like nuts and bolts, which is funny enough, like the worst cosmetic, which actually works. Because I was like, yo, I like using really bad cosmetics to complement each other. Like the big steel jaw of Summer Fun, and nuts and bolts would probably work really well for the scrapper vibe for a lot of my characters. But unfortunately for my heavy, at least, I don't think there's any of these, and both of these cosmetics I don't think have any unusual effects on them, or can have them. I'm not very experienced in unusuals, but that's what I was told anyway. But yeah, I just don't really see the value in unusual effects, considering that how a lot of them is just not what I'm going for. In regards to cosmetics and stuff, and they don't have any functionality, and the only reason why you would ever have any of them is because they're rare, or maybe they look good in your taste. And honestly, you know, they don't, a lot of them don't look good in my taste, you know. But with that being said, if you guys enjoyed the video, like it if you do, don't if you didn't. All the information you'll ever need to know, like the description, will be in the description down below. The link to Loadout.tf, and the link to my girlfriend's channel. Please subscribe to her. Please subscribe to her. She helped me out a lot with the making of this video. If you guys got questions, suggestions, or want to start a conversation, go down in the comments section under the video. Subscribe and notify yourself, become a part of the crew. And with that being said, this has been your captain speaking, Rifter, and I am out.